Okay.
Okay, we're live.
All right. Hey, everybody. Um, this is the best group. So I'm Jared Canberra.
I'm Amy Konchak.
And I'm Kaylee Glenn.
Perfect. And we have two people from our group that aren't going to be able to make it. Both have sick children, so that's why they're not here. Um, so let's get going with this. So we're going to be talking about A Sacred Duty, that book. Let's see. The first question says, having completed the book, how has your understanding and perception increased on the process of internal policy and law, or international policy and law?
For me, I feel like the main thing I got from the book, at least, was how it's kind of super corrupted. Because I think it was the Women's Caucus that got pretty much everything they wanted.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just saw that there was a lot of I don't know,
And
a lot
also
of bad
going
things.
along with that, how easily things can be overridden. Like the second meeting that he went to after the main one that the book was about, everything that had happened in that meeting, like they didn't even acknowledge that that had happened. They just went back to what had happened in China before. And so even though something may be a law at that moment, it doesn't mean it's going to stick or that they're going to even acknowledge it later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It was weird that these laws would be made, but they don't talk about them or they don't acknowledge them. It's just kind of like, all right, that happened that time, but that doesn't really matter anymore, so they kind of just brush over it. So I thought that was really interesting too.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, So what role did you see the Lord playing in Professor Wilkins' effort to advocate for the families of the world? What lessons did you learn from your own efforts?
I think probably my favorite thing that I saw is how the school was abbreviated to the Kennedy Law School, and how that got him like big publicity that he really needed. Because if he would not have had that publicity of being from the Kennedy Law School, like he wouldn't have gone as far as he could have. So I think that the Lord really played a role in that.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing. It was like that would have never happened if it wasn't meant to be. That if the Lord really didn't try to make that happen.
Yeah.
So,
I thought it was really cool, his wife throughout the book, just the fact that she had put the little proclamation in his suit coat and told him that he would need it, and that he based his talk off of that. And then later on, when he didn't get to speak, I feel like the Lord just provided him 4 minutes to be able to say exactly what he needed to say.
Yeah. And
I thought.
even
Oh, sorry, go on.
oh, go ahead. I was just going to say even the timing of the proclamation was perfect.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just thought that part with the proclamation was really cool, and it made me want to get a pocket-sized one and just always have it to remember it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Okay, so even though the book was largely about Richard Wilkins' experience, what important supporting roles did you see others playing in this account? Why is it important to recognize this?
So there's a second part to that last question, right?
Yeah.
What lessons did you learn from your own efforts?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And
Yeah. So
I
what?
don't know, I'm curious as to what you guys have to say to that. I didn't want to skip over that one.
Kaylee, do you want to go first?
Um, so what lessons did you learn for your own efforts? I think he was persistent. Like he didn't give up, and even though he wasn't sure how he was going to do it, like when he was preparing his talk for the meeting, and the caucus women kept coming in, like he didn't know what he was going to do, but he kept persevering and he relied on the Lord, and that's when he remembered about the proclamation and his wife told him about the proclamation. So I think just persevere, don't give up. There was a lot of times he could have given up, but he didn't. He just kept doing what he knew it was right, and it ended up working out in his favor, at least for that meeting.
Yeah, and like for
I
me, when
like
I
that.
thought about that part, the second part to that question about um, what lessons did I learn from my efforts? Like, I'm not sure if you girls live in Utah or not, but when the whole like gay marriage and trying to legalize it and everything that was going on with that, it was hard to kind of want to stand up for what a family really means and stand up for the proclamation. And so at my work, there was a lot of questions about it, and a lot of people debated it at work, and it was just kind of like, okay, do I give my own opinion or do I just go with what they're saying because they're my coworkers or because it's my manager, you know? And I was like, I need to stand up and say what I really believe because that's what the Lord would want us to do. And so it was really interesting to see me like advocating for the family without really recognizing it until I took this class and I'm like, oh, I was doing that, you know, like I didn't think about it back then, but now reflecting on it, it's like that's exactly what I was doing. So
Hmm. I
That's
think
awesome.
for me, I feel like this class has really opened my eyes. I've uh, so I've told you guys this before, but I'm a social work major, and a big part of that is um, like putting aside your own like thoughts and feelings on things and helping people be the best that they want to be. And so that included like going off like the gay marriage thing. I mean, a huge part of what I've done has been to like study like the LGBT population and like get to know them and like um, learn not to have biases towards them. But I feel like this class has kind of like opened my eyes to the importance of also advocating for the family. Obviously, you can't do that in like a professional way, in
yeah,
from like a social worker point of view, but in everyday life, I mean, I would say the time when I realized the most need was on my mission because in France they have a lot of messed up laws about family. Like they just made it legal that you can get a tax deduction for your mistress, and like it's just crazy. And
weird.
you can see like how it hurts their not only like the individuals but like also like the country as a whole. And so
Yeah,
I guess I haven't seen a whole lot of because I haven't tried to advocate a whole lot, but I feel like the Lord definitely shows you the importance of it. So that's what I would
yeah,
say.
that's so true. I
Just
feel like you said, I feel like my brain has like instead of saying okay, just stand back and be in the crowd, it's like no, I need to be forward. I need to like not be not be shy about it or have a fear of opening up my mouth about it, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so the next question, the first part of the next question says, even though the book was largely about Richard Wilkins' experience, what important supporting roles did you see others playing in this account?
I
So I
think
don't know.
oh,
Oh,
yep, go
go ahead.
for it.
No, I was gonna say I didn't know if I quite understood it, but maybe you'll clarify with your answer.
So two examples I can think of, and you already mentioned this one, Amy, is his wife was one of them. Like, he was always supporting him and like gave it, like helped him stay calm and stay focused and reminded him of what was really important and why he was there. And another one that I thought of was the lady that first told him to go in the first place, and she was there with him, and she had the computer, and she helped stay up late into the night and like wrote papers and did copies, and then even the bank person that he had to keep calling and asking for money so that he could make copies. Like how many banks would do that today? I'm not sure.
Yeah, not a lot probably.
I
What,
also
another
think
$1,000? Yeah.
I also think another a person that played a huge impact was that Arab man that he talked to that like he was Arab, right? That told him like where have you been?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was really cool because I mean a lot of times we think that oh it's just our religious beliefs, you know, but it's actually like a huge amount of people that want to support the family, but it's just kind of dwindling.
yeah, it's so true. Like, and you guys pretty much said the ones I was thinking, but my biggest one was the wife because she was so supportive of it. You know, like if she even had a doubt about it or not really wanting to support him, then he easily could have just been like, oh yeah, you're right, I don't want to do it. And so it's like she was that support that he needed to help him push him to that next level. And so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And so the second part of the question says, why is it important to recognize this?
I think just realized that he didn't do it on his own. Like maybe the people there thought that it was his own efforts, but there are so many people supporting him that weren't there, that were at the conference. Like he just had support from all around, and it was through that support and the support of the Lord and the help of the Lord that he was able to do what he did. Without that, he wouldn't have been as successful, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing. It's like it's important to recognize it so that way we understand that it's not just us that's trying to fight this fight.
Yeah.
There's many of us, like across the whole world, people of the church and people that are not members of the church, and so it's important to just recognize that and remember that. That way you have more of an understanding of people and more willingness to share it, I feel.
Yeah, I also think that um, with this question, it kind of shows like just the importance of the family right there because, I mean, I've a lot of times people say that like the wife's job is like a slave job or whatever, but it's kind of it's so important that each has their own role because if she wasn't there to be home and support the kids and support him, then he wouldn't have been able to do this. And so I guess I feel like it shows like just the success that the family can have because just because he had a strong family, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What were you going to say, Kaylee? Sorry.
I was just saying I agreed with her.
Oh, yeah, me too. Like, I just feel um, like I don't know. I just totally agree. It's like the family. So many people today are against it, and I don't know. It's hard. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so ponder your readings from a sacred duty. What are some consequences and risks of minimizing or eliminating family and religion from public policy? I mean, just thinking about it, my biggest thing that I can think about is just like from personal experience and personal thoughts is that if we eliminate family and religion from the public policy, then it's not. We're going to be focused on the individuals. We're going to be focusing on what's best for me instead of what's best for us, for our families. And when you think about us as a family, then you think about your community. You think about your country. You think about other people besides yourself. And so it makes it more of a humbling experience to be able to have those incorporated in public policy. But that's what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think you hit it right on the dot, saying that like, I mean, if we focus too much on the individual, we not only lose the family, but we lose the community, and that's when obviously the society suffers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question says, based on a sacred duty, what do you think we can do about it? So that's the first part. Does the author implicitly, I can't say that word, implicitly or explicitly make realistic suggestions for ordinary citizens as well as those in a position of power and influence? Provide examples.
I think for one, the main thing is to be an example. Like he was like we talked about earlier, his support system was his family, and so he set the example of how a family, like the benefits of a family, and he lived his life in a way that showed those around him that there are benefits to a family. So I think that's one thing that ordinary citizens can do, and they can also, like he was an ordinary citizen. He wasn't really anyone of power. He was a BYU professor, and through help of others, he was able to have an influence. So I think also realizing that we can't do it by ourselves, and we have to come together and work together and do things. Just you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, like I totally agree. Like I think that for us, we can do it because we have the power to do it. We have the support from other people across the world. I mean, if you post something on Facebook about family equality or whatever, people are going to post about it. You're going to get hit from both sides, but it's like so many people are involved with it and interested in it, and so it's really important to just remember that and kind of know that there is people out there doing the same thing you're trying to do. And it doesn't take the president of the United States. It takes an individual, like the professor, to do it. You know.
Yeah. And I think it also, when you were talking, I thought of like how as teenagers or even as adults, like if you're at a bad movie or something and someone walks out, you're more likely to walk out and follow that person's example, but it's harder to be the first person to do something. So if we can be a first person, or if we can follow someone else's example, it makes it that much more easier for someone else to do the same.
Yeah. And kind of answering his second... Sorry. Kind of answering his second question.
No, go ahead.
The second question there. I feel like he did both. He did it, like, he implicitly and explicitly made suggestions. I think one of them that he said explicitly was his, like, just the different organizations that are out there. And, I mean, obviously there's different ranks of that. I mean, there's people, the one was based off of, like, BYU Provo, and, I mean, you can either be like him, a super high lawyer, or you can be one of the other people that are just simply blogging, like you said, or doing other little things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the last question. So to kind of sum up, we kind of, after reading the book and after discussing this in our group, we kind of came to the conclusion that it's important to be an advocate for the family, and that it doesn't take someone that is popular or famous to do it. It just takes the individual to go and voice their opinion, and people are going to back them up. And we know that it's possible to make a difference by being that example. So.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Was there anything
everyone.
else we could do? Was there anything else, or are we done? I don't know.
So I think we're good. So
I think we're good.
have a good weekend. See you next week.
Yeah, Kate,
Bye.
do you want to post it? Or you want me to?
I can post it.
Okay, awesome.
See ya.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.